Hi everyone, my name is Lorena. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to share with you all our experience with Juliette starting school. I feel like this is a big topic that a lot of us parents can relate to, whether your kid is starting school for the very first time, or maybe your kid has been at home doing homeschooling quarantine for the last couple of years and now they're going back to a classroom setting, coping with anxiety, coping with the transition of going back to school and all those emotions. Both, it's a big change for the kid as well as us parents. It's a lot on us too. So I wanted to share with you all our experience and the tools I found to make the transition a lot better. I hope this information is useful to you. Let's get started. For starting school, both Juliette and I were very excited. We were looking forward to the day, and I was preparing by making sure that she had all the material she needed, the backpack, the lunch bag, but I was not prepared for the emotional part and what could happen that day of. And so it turns out that, that day came around. She was happy. She was still very excited. We went to drop her off. I remember her little face turning back at me one last time before she stepped into the door of her school, and she just looked at me with a little bit of anxiety but also with a lot of excitement, and I just nodded, telling her that everything was going to be okay. And I told her, it's okay, go inside. And she went in and we went home. I did shed some tears, and it was a big emotional thing for me, but she did seem a little bit nervous but still happy and excited. And then when it came time to pick her up, which I was counting the hours, that day just seemed like forever, and finally it was the time to go pick her up, and I wanted to know everything about her day. I go pick her up, and the first thing she does is to ask me for a song that she wants to hear in the car, and I put the song and then I put the volume low and I bombarded her with questions. I asked her, how did your day go? Did you talk to the other kids? Did you like your teacher? And right? She was so overwhelmed. She was in such a bad mood, and coming home, she didn't want to do anything that I was telling her to do. She didn't want to take a nap. She didn't want to do anything. She just had a really, really bad attitude. And I just thought, what happened to my sweet little girl that I dropped off this morning? This is not the same person. My husband and I were looking at each other like, what is wrong? She completely ignoring my sister when she came into the house. She was just very rude, and she just had a really bad attitude, and I was very nervous. She wasn't really telling us anything that happened at school or if she liked it. She was just kind of like, yeah, it's good. And that's it. And I was freaking out. I was a little worried. I thought maybe something happened to her at school, that maybe she had this attitude at school. I just had a lot of thoughts, and I started to feel some anxiety. And we just had dinner, got over with the day. It was the hubby's turns to put the girls to sleep. And I was in the sofa feeling a little bit defeated and anxious about what was going on and how we were going to deal with this. And then the hubby sends me an article that I want to share with you all. So I have it here. The title is The After School Attitude. Why is my child acting out at home? And so I start reading it, and this is exactly what's happening with Juliette. She's grouchy. She doesn't want to tell me about her day. Her behavior is terrible. She's acting totally out of character. And I'm just like, check, 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 check. This is Juliette. This is Juliette. This is Juliette. What do I need to do to fix this, right? And then it goes on to explaining that your child really needs a transition and needs a break from everything that she is learning to be in that classroom setting, now following those rules, and now coming home. She just needs that break, just like we all do when we go to work and then we end our day. We have our little break in our car, we unwind, we listen to a podcast, we listen to the music that we want. We have that time before coming home or getting home. So in that sense, they need a break too, and they need some kind of adjustment. And they talk about like things you can do to improve the adjustment, like making sure that they have enough sleep, making sure that you're not rushing them or that you're forgetting things in their backpack and stuff like that. So just making things easier on them in that sense, but then also having that break, that quiet time. So they suggest having a snack, a quiet activity, listening to you read a book, changing clothes, a shower or bath, active play, or even an educational show. So then the next day I had a different approach, picking her up. I didn't bombard her with all the questions, and instead I just let her listen to the song she wanted. When she came home, I provided a little snack, and then I asked her to go take a bath. I thought this is the perfect time for a bath because one, she has a bunch of sunscreen that she lathers on every day because she's in the outdoors. So this is the time that she gets all those germs away from her school, takes off that sunscreen, and then has that relaxing quiet time, bath time. So then she's able to unwind and transition into, being at home, and then she feels more comfortable and happier. And that worked. By the third day, she was feeling a lot more happier, a lot more relaxed with the routine, and she was also sharing a lot more, and I just felt like that helped a lot. And we've tried to be very consistent. Every time she comes home, we do the exact same thing. I get her stuff out of her backpack, I provide her with a little snack, and then it is bath time, and that seems to be working out. So giving our kids the activities to transition from a school setting to then coming home, I think really helps, and just giving them space and giving them their own time to give us some feedback of what's going on and some of their emotions and some of the things that they're doing at school, like not bombarding them, which was a mistake that I did. I was so excited. I wanted her to know everything, and in that I was just overwhelming her more than she already was with this big change that it was going to school. I also realized that in the sense of taking her to school, it was easy because she didn't cry. She didn't have any problems going to school. She was looking forward to going to school every morning, and she was happy to go to school. But if your little one is struggling, if for example your child is manifesting anxiety by waking up extra early, or crying, or having that bad attitude in the morning because they don't want to go to school because they have this anxiety within them. And I found this physician who then became a yoga teacher and explained this exercise of mindfulness. And mindfulness, we hear it a lot these days. It's kind of like a trendy word where we hear it all the time. We want to be mindful, we want to be mindful, but what does that mean? It just means that we want to be present instead of having that anxiety take over us and not have to stress about the future or the past. And so she recommends this. You do an activity where you practice the 5 senses. I have it written down here. So the 5 sense exercise. So 5 things they see, 4 things they can touch, 3 things they can hear, 2 things they can smell, and 1 thing they can taste. What do you hear? Do you hear Penny?
Yes, I hear Penny.
You hear Penny. What else do you hear?
Abu.
You hear Abu. What else do you hear?
Mom.
You hear me talking? Yes.
Can I cut it?
Yeah, go for it. So then we start cutting this banana. You can do this activity first thing in the morning as you're making breakfast. You ask them to join you. You ask them to maybe cut some strawberries, whatever it is. You get them into describing what they're looking at, what they're feeling, what they touch, how they taste the food. And it just gets them really focused and really center into the moment and what is happening in front of them. What do you think? Do you think this banana is going to taste good?
Yes, let's try it.
Okay, let's try it.
Sounds good.
Smells good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about this? How does this feel? Does this feel slippery? Or does it feel
It feels
rough?
slippery when he falls in the floor.
Oh, yeah. And then we can hear what? We can hear you cutting the banana. We hear the boom, boom. You can hear the cutting board and the knife.
Yeah.
So I would really recommend this exercise if your child is struggling with anxiety with going to school and those mornings. If it's been really hard, try this out and hopefully it helps, and it helps your child feel a lot more relaxed And even when they're at school, if maybe they're a little bit older and still struggling with anxiety, if they can do this little exercise at school so they know they are in a safe place, they know what's around them, they know what they see, they know what they hear, then they feel a little bit more calm, they feel a little bit more relaxed. And now I want to suggest one more thing you can do with your child now that they're starting school to set them up with the right mentality, with the right attitude. And it is this. And this is something that I didn't try with Juliette yet. We are going to do it now that she's going to officially start preschooled. Of course, she doesn't know how to read, but I want to read it to her and for her to repeat it to me and see if it has a positive impact in her. And it's basically a back to school manifesto. I found this tip on Big Life Journey on Instagram, and it goes like this. Things can be hard and I can do hard things. I will always choose kindness. I will be kind to myself too. It's okay if I'm not the best at something. I will focus on being my best self. I will stay curious and ask lots of questions, and most importantly, I will be myself, make good friends, and have fun. So now that Juliette is going to start officially her preschool, I plan to print this out and for us to say it every morning just to get her in that positive mindset, but also, you know, to let her know, to reassure her that she just has to be her best self. Things will be hard. And at the end of it all, you know, what's most important is for her to have fun. And if these words can have a positive impact in her and her attitude, in her school career, then I want to plant this little seed. So I am going to try it out now that she's going to start school. I will link everything I just talked about, the article, the manifesto, where I got it from, and the 5 cents exercise. I'll reference this person that recommends the 5 cents exercise also has a book, and so I'll put that all information in the description below so that you're able to access that and see for yourself this information, and for you to have these tools to help our little ones. I know that we are not perfect parents, and it's a big transition for both them and us, and just being able to figure out ways to help them can really have an impact from the very beginning of their school career. And so I hope this information was useful to you, and if it was, if you can give this video a thumbs up, if you can subscribe to the channel as well. I'll see you next time. Bye.